Another 2 weeks, another difficulty adjustment for Bitcoin miners. We're going to talk about Bitcoin mining profitability and the imminent difficulty adjustment that's about to happen. And it looks like it's going to be a big fat donut, zero adjustment. What does that tell us about the Bitcoin mining network and profitability? And do we expect further difficulty increases or decreases? Let's jump into it and look at what the Bitcoin network has in store for us. We're expecting a difficulty adjustment today. We had a difficulty adjustment 2 weeks ago where we saw the largest increase in difficulty in absolute terms, over 14% increase in difficulty from the 125.86 T to the current 144.4 T. It's wild because prior to, we had the biggest decrease in difficulty in absolute terms, where it went from the 142-ish T down to the 125.86 T, and then right back up with an even larger increase. And interestingly, basically a nothing burger difficulty increase, clearly coming in, averaging about 10 minutes per block on the nose, on target. So we are currently plateauing in terms of difficulty, and I'm curious where you think we're going from here. Do you think mining will continue to become more and more difficult at that very accelerated pace? Because it's decision time. With mining economics where they are, with hash price bringing in $31 worth of Bitcoin per petahash, a lot of miners are underwater, particularly the ones that don't have low operational expenses and the most efficient equipment running. Really, you need both in these current market conditions. It's absolutely brutal. Miners, possibly most miners, are operating underwater at this point in time. Difficulty, everybody's got their eyes on difficulty. Zoom out, you can see that hash price has created new all-time lows. And if you're a miner, you hate to see it unless you are actively picking up cheap hardware and looking at this as an opportunity. So new lows coming in well under $30 worth of BTC on a daily basis per petahash. And this is the most competitive business in the world. So lock in. 15% increase 2 weeks ago. Absolutely ripping. And there was a lot of winter curtailments, which caused that downward adjustment. And then here we are, coming off of the back of the largest absolute increase, not relative to the whole network in terms of a percentage. We have seen larger moves, but in absolute terms, measuring based on raw difficulty increase, we have seen it increase more than ever with that last, and the downward adjustment was also the largest downward in absolute terms. And here we are. Now we're going to see this thing flatline. Miners mine less Bitcoin when difficulty goes up because there's more competition on the network for the block subsidy and the fees that are rewarded to miners as a block reward. That said, if we zoom out again, hash price has trended way down, but is there light at the end of the tunnel? Orange is difficulty, and you see this disconnection from price. That was a great time to be stacking hardware. When miners were cheap, you could have gotten an S19J Pro for under $1,000, and then it popped, and those rigs were selling for 5 figures, over $10,000. And that was because price outpaced difficulty. We're talking gigawatts here, securing the most powerful computer network in the world by orders of magnitude. So don't underestimate the compute here backing up Bitcoin. And even that massive downward adjustment, you're talking effectively over a gigawatt of power going offline during those winter curtailments, and also inefficient miners unplugging and going out of business, which means what? It means more Bitcoin for the efficient operators. And so that's a great time to catch the wave, right? And effectively by increasing your efficiency, you are paddling and getting ready for that wave to come, because basically all Bitcoin miners are long Bitcoin. And you'll see how price disconnected from difficulty, and it's a great time to be mining because mining economics are improving. And a slow creep up and trend up and to the right for difficulty, even throughout the bear market previously and the bear market as of late. And you see this disconnect of price on the downside. But the interesting opportunity here is that if you're bullish Bitcoin, you can see this price drag difficulty down as miners unplug, as Bitcoin mining economics are terrible. But then that opens up the opportunity to stack the most efficient hardware for pennies on the dollar. But further to that, this disconnect can happen again to the upside like it did last time. And so this could drag difficulty down, priming the most efficient miners that stay online for the rip to come, because it always gets dippiest before it gets rippiest. This price in yellow could again catch up to difficulty and then disconnect to the upside, and that will be fantastic for efficient Bitcoin mining operator. Here we are plateauing, having basically a zero adjustment where difficulty is going to more or less stay at about 144T. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I do believe that that is, nope, not quite the all-time high. We will be making all-time highs relatively soon. We are currently plateauing, and we will continue to see miners unplug and more efficient miners plug in who want to capture all of that value as Bitcoin itself continues to outperform as the apex asset. Let's do a super quick underwrite of a S21 XP up to the halving in about 25 months. Let's say you're operating at a special rate of 7.5 cents, which I can help you get into. Let's say you pick up some 270 terahash S21 XPs. They are currently minting BTC, always subject to change, for about under $60,000. Bitcoin pumped about 8% so far this month and is trading for the low 70,000 range. If you like stacking sats efficiently, that can look like a price advantage on the coin that you're stacking. It could also look like tax advantages like 100% bonus depreciation. I appreciate you joining me, and I wanted to invite you to the Proof of Workshop, where all we talk about is the business of Bitcoin mining. And look, it's 2026. You better figure out a business that's AI resistant. And Bitcoin mining is a very interesting way to have a business that's actually generating revenue. And what's better than earning in BTC? So if you're interested in learning more about Bitcoin from a miner's perspective, definitely join us at the Proof of Workshop. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.